Looks like Butcher doesn't have to rely on having a lucky super baby around anymore. The boys are about to get V'd up. Hey everyone, I'm Brent the Middleman, your middle-aged middle manager in Middle America in a midlife crisis, here today with another video about Prime Video's wonderfully gory superhero series, The Boys. In this video, I'll be breaking down what we see in the newly released Season 3 trailer and comparing it to the source material. So if you don't want anything spoiled, back out now. With that out of the way, grab a big glass of milk and be sure to stay on the curb, because away we go. Right from the get-go, we get shown that Butcher and his team will be taking Compound V in order to even the playing field. We see that Butcher will be getting enhanced strength and laser eyes, but it will remain a surprise as to what powers the rest of the boys will be getting. I do hope that Huey gets some kind of regeneration though, otherwise Kimiko is gonna have some splaining to do. I can't imagine Butcher can be trusted any more than Homelander with these powers, and I think Butcher could be even worse. Homelander at least cares about his public image, but Butcher literally has nothing left to lose. We see Homelander also staring in a mirror or at a painting, but his mirror is in a super fancy upscale apartment, while Butcher is in some dingy bathroom. Over the last 2 seasons, we've seen the boys have to hide and live in squalor, while the awful superheroes live in the lap of luxury. It looks like this contrast is about to come to a head in Season 3, with the boys powered up and out for blood. One of the many wild cards this season will be Homelander's quickly declining mental state, and based on what we see in the trailer, things are going from bad to worse. The whole trailer does a great job of showing the building tension between the supes and the boys. Starlight, who I consider a part of the boys, is doing her best to keep smiling during a photo shoot with Homelander, as it looks like they are now co-leaders of the Seven. Mother's Milk is clenching a chair while staring down at some pill bottles. Maybe he is finally going to take something for his OCD. Stan Edgar and Frenchie coolly remove their shades, and then we get a hilarious shot of A-Train filming a commercial spoofing that ridiculous Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad where she single-handedly stopped blue on black violence. A-Train doesn't use Pepsi though, he uses his own brand of energy drink, Turbo Rush. The weirdness continues with a superhero boy band led by a supe named Supersonic, who I believe is supposed to be based on Drummer Boy from the comics, who dated Starlight when they were in young Christian superhero camp together. Or maybe he was Drummer Boy and was rebranded as Supersonic. We've seen this happen before. A superhero screws up and they bring them back with a new identity, just like Stormfront last season. The whole boy band or talent show or tryout or whatever it is just perfect, and totally capped off by Homelander looking confused by the whole thing, but then smiles as soon as he realizes the camera is on him. Anthony Starr just knocks this performance out of the park, just like he never left that bar in Spain. Cut to Ashley riding the Dawn of the Seven director in a bathroom stall as he rips some of her hair out. If you remember, her hair started coming out last season from stress, and I wouldn't be surprised if she is completely bald by the end of this season. Huey and Starlight are holding hands at the Dawn of the Seven premiere. Now that Huey is working for the head-popping congresswoman, I guess Starlight is comfortable with a little PDA. Homelander does his belly-poking intimidation thing to A-Train right before grabbing him with his eyes glowing. I wouldn't be surprised if A-Train had a trickle of pee running down his leg. Maybe this is the first time Homelander has seen A-Train since he helped the boys take down his Nazi girlfriend Stormfront last season. This is when the trailer really takes a turn to the gory side of things, which is what we love about this show. With Congresswoman Victoria Newman in an alleyway, standing over a headless body, and deciding to pop all of him. First of all, I thought she needed to make eye contact to pop someone, so this is a twist. Second of all, holy crap. So far, we've only seen Vought prisoner Cindy pop an entire body, so this officially makes Victoria Newman the most terrifying supe in the show. Hopefully Cindy pops back up this season, and we can get a head-to-head matchup. A couple of shots of glowing eyes with Butcher and Starlight, then the piece de la resistance, the rhino horn of a Homelander dildo. Not sure what's happening in this scene, but that news anchor may be about to get an injection of patriotism. Then we get Kimiko kicking some butt in a sparkly dress, followed by a new supe, the Crimson Countess, directing a fireball at a Homelander balloon filled with something to make it look like guts. It looks like she's at Maeve's Rainbow theme park, so it's probably a stage performance. This also shows how comfortable the public are with these superheroes being violent as long as they think they are protecting them. Sound familiar? Crimson Countess is obviously a spoof of the Scarlet Witch, and she was on a team called Payback, which itself was a spoof of the Avengers, just like the Seven is based on the Justice League. Stormfront was the leader of Payback in the comics, so they may all be reuniting to avenge her, since we know that other Payback team members Soldier Boy, Gunpowder, and Tech Knight will be on the show too. We saw a newspaper clipping about Tech Knight on the wall of that new character we saw in the closet, who seems to be tracking all the supes. And we will see Gunpowder coming up in the trailer along with Soldier Boy. Tech Knight is supposed to be like Iron Man, and in the comics, he is super attracted to machinery. After this is where they show Kimiko snapping Huey's arm, probably either to test the compound V or to make him take it. I could totally see Huey refusing to take it, which makes sense since a superhero blowing up his girlfriend is the whole reason he joined the boys. So why would he want to be like them? But Kimiko quickly snaps him out of it, and I'm sure right after this it's down the hatch. Butcher calmly sipping his coffee is just great. Then we get our first shot of Soldier Boy, the Captain America spoof, in what looks like old footage. This could be him being used as marketing for the war effort, as he's been around since World War II in the comics, but I think in the show they are going to make it the Vietnam War. My guess is that Vought will be bringing him back to try to distance themselves from the Stormfront as a Nazi fallout. He is going to be played by Jensen Ackles from Supernatural in case nobody recognized him. Finally, we get to see what the Deep is up to, and of course, he seems to be at some kind of orgy. If you know the comics, then you could probably guess that he is at Herogasm, an event where all the supes secretly head to an island to do whatever they want with each other, while the government tells the public they are off-planet on a mission fighting aliens. So this is either Herogasm, or the Deep is now a porn star, and honestly, either would make sense, as he is the perfect name for it. Next, we see how Victoria Newman initially took down the guy she exploded earlier, and this looks really personal. She is not popping this dude from a distance, she is popping his face right up close. The quick cut to Black Noir dumping beans into a bowl is just great, and I wonder if we'll get more on him this season. There is a huge reveal of his identity in the comic, and I won't spoil it here, but I'm wondering if they will mix it up for the show. A lot of people theorized last season that it could be Butcher's brother, who he thinks is dead, but I'm not so sure. Queen Maeve gets some sword action, which we've come to learn she really isn't that into. It's hard to tell if she's just practicing or if she is actually fighting someone. More Soldier Boy, and it looks like an older era, and I think all the clips of him, except for the very end, are flashbacks. Then we see a guy who is definitely not lucky, getting exploded from the inside out by new superhero Termite. This is what we've all hoped Ant-Man or the Wasp would do to the bad guys in the MCU, but Disney doesn't have the mothballs to let them. But don't worry, we have the boys to make all our dreams come true. Cut to the Deep, who is in the middle of exploring a trench when he notices an octopus flashing him in what has to be the weirdest threesome of all time. Butcher is looking at a vial of green stuff, which may be the new Compound V, because in other seasons Compound V was blue. We know Butcher drinks this because in the next clip his eyes are glowing and then he is puking it all over Huey. The running gag of Huey getting covered in something disgusting continues. I hope the boys have a lot of this green stuff because I believe they will have to keep taking it in order to keep their powers, unlike the supes. This could definitely lead to a Butcher addiction storyline this season. Homelander then flies into a Trump rally and we even see the horned guy from the storming of the Capitol. Homelander is loving this as he continues to build his own army of people, much like what Stormfront tried to do last season. Cut to his son Ryan getting red-eyed about something, who is now in government custody. We also see him rip some necklace off, maybe something his dad gave him. And remember, Ryan is the first naturally born superpowered person. Ashley rips out more hair, then a truck gets blown up into what could be a younger Mallory, as we may see that she and Soldier Boy fought together in Vietnam, but I'm not sure. Then more of A-Train, this time on stage with the sign that says American Hero behind him, very patriotic. Looks like the same stage and statues we saw the boy band on earlier. This is followed by a fight with some guy throwing someone across the room, and A-Train seems to break it up. We see Black Noir sketching while in the Seven boardroom, and the Deep being the weirdo he is. A close-up of Starlight crying glittery tears, and then Homelander finally realizing that he could go right to the source for his milk obsession as we see him milking a cow. And I love the look on his face here. Then we see a strange dance number with Frenchie and Kimiko, and because it's the boys, I'm going to assume it's because Frenchie got knocked out or was given something to make him hallucinate. More shots of Soldier Boy fighting in the past and kicking the crap out of some soldiers. This could be where we see why he was decommissioned by Vought, or just giving us an idea of what a piece of crap he's going to be. He seems super violent, and the rumor is he's going to be worse than Homelander, which is a scary thought. But we should ask this kid what he thinks. And this smirk just tells it all. Great casting here, as Jensen Ackles is good at looking like a douchebag. I'm sure it's just acting though. This is when we get shots of Butcher fighting Gunpowder, another member of Payback. We see Butcher's super strength on display and get a look at Gunpowder's costume. Then more Kimiko kicking butt, and a shot showing that Butcher still needs practice with his eye lasers. I wonder if he'll take out any innocent people, or if he'll just destroy some property. The final shots show Homelander and Butcher, the matchup 3 seasons in the making, and I'm sure we will get some kind of showdown, but I bet both live to fight another season. The very final clip shows somebody waking up and taking off their bindings, and we see it's a bearded soldier boy ready to get back in the public eye. They are leaning heavy into the Captain America comparisons, and I love it. If he was already nuts before getting shut down, I can only imagine how crazy he is going to be now. I think you can tell that I'm really excited for the boys to come back, and I can't wait to see what happens this season. I'll be covering each episode on the channel, and we can all share our theories about where we think things are headed. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, and I'll be back soon with more content. If this is your first time here, I cover shows like Raised by Wolves, Severance, The Boys, The Umbrella Academy, and I plan on covering a whole lot more. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Brent the Middleman, and I'll see you next time.